Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Tigers Talk Rugby. Before we get started, once again, we are on many different streaming platforms now, including Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Spotify. So if you are not listening on one of those platforms, please go over there and give us a listen. We're really happy to be on other platforms that don't involve you having to leave your app open. Actually use it more like a podcast. So with that, I'm Ethan Richards.
I'm Beckett Rice.
And I'm CJ Bakel. And like we said last week, we have now part 2 with Jack Webster, one of the newest signings with Nola Gold. So welcome back on the show.
What's up? What's up? Good to be here.
And this week, we kind of just wanted to talk about like rugby experiences. So in particular, I guess you said in last week's episode, if anybody hasn't seen last week's episode, you better be watching it, that you started sophomore year at LSU, and you kind of talked about a little bit about your experiences there. So is there anything that you would like to add on to those experiences? Like, was there any people or like that particularly influenced you to play the game, or was there anybody that you learned from really, really quickly, I guess?
I think definitely that first group of seniors so my sophomore year, I think we had like 13 or 14 seniors that graduated. And they were all pretty much starters. And yeah, just like kind of like watching them run drills, run practice, like going out after games and stuff, and like kind of like treating like everyone like a brother, like everyone's like involved, all that kind of stuff. Kind of set the tone for like how I like expected myself to like treat rugby and like have like the respect for rugby and like its kind of like values in that kind of sense. So definitely them, like as a group, I'm very appreciative of. But I'm definitely I learned a lot from like players like Cam Troxler, who was a center at LSU when I very first joined. And just like kind of like watching them play is like how I learned the most when I first started. So yeah, I guess I'm very appreciative of them as well.
What was the first thought that you had when you stepped on like the rugby pitch for the first time? You kind of talked about it in the last episode with Lindenwood. What was your like first emotions and feelings while you were on the pitch? Because like for a lot of us, we have a bunch of like awesome memories of the first time. So what was like your head, like what was going through your head at that time?
I remember my very first match was actually, man, I might have lied to you guys, was against Tulane's B side. Or maybe A side. It was like LSU's A side, and I just remember thinking, "This is so much fun." It was because I mean, it's just like a feeling of like pure adrenaline, just like waiting for the ball to get to you finally, and like staying in the line and like having no idea what's going on when you first started, you know. And you're just like running around and waiting for the ball, you know. But yeah, I just remember it being like pure excitement and like just so much fun, and I mean, I've been playing ever since.
So I always share this memory with, especially on the show a couple times, but like my entire life played football up until I was like 12 or 13. And I first got introduced to rugby. And when I was in football, I was always, offensive line, defensive line. So never got to touch the ball. So in my first rugby match, they put me at 8. And immediately off a scrum, I was able to pick up the ball, and they said, "Just run." And I was like,
yeah.
I held the ball. I was like, what do I do with this? I had never touched a ball in my life. It was insane.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I played middle school rugby, high school rugby. So I honestly, I don't really.
You were born into it, buddy.
Yeah. My dad's English. So, and I grew up like when my brother was in high school is when the club started. Actually, I think he was even in middle school, and he's couple years above me, so I was in elementary school going to high school rugby matches and throwing a rugby ball around. So
shout out Nick Richards, right?
Yeah, shout out Nick Richards. Played for Clemson. Good guy. Love him. He's my brother. So, but for my rugby experience is so widely different than a lot of people's, because like for you, like you started in college and so it's like it's just pretty unique to be from America and be watching and involved in rugby in some way in elementary school. So, which hopefully, I don't know, like, I want to see that more in the U.S. And I know like a lot of programs, especially at the MLR level, have like mentioned their youth development and whatnot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jack, you spoke a little bit about your first match. How did your last match go with LSU?
My last match it went well for me personally, but it was actually at University of Texas. But, and we ended up losing, I think by a try or two. I had a hat trick though, so can't complain too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, had a nice little trip over the top at one point and scooped it up for a score. See, but none of it's on video. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, that's the one
It
play
never
you want to
happened.
see.
It never happened.
But it's like a guy like running down the sideline with a phone. You know. Yeah.
The best kind of video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game was a complete back and forth. We had a whole car breakdown we had like I think 21, and then 4 people didn't make it. A car broke down like 2 hours outside of Austin.
Oh no!
Had to buy
Oh, my
another
God.
hotel room, and then just went home after that. Like we didn't know how to get in there.
Oh,
Yeah, so we were playing down a lot of guys, and so was Texas though. In retrospect, but yeah, like we would go up, then they would go up, and then we would go up, and they would go up, and they just ended up on top at the end.
Those are some always the
It was fun,
like
though.
more fun matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the back and
You
forth.
just kind of do whatever. Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of this last year with us. Beckett was on this trip as well. We were heading down to Life, which is, for us, it's like routine, hour and a half drive,
like-
2-hour drive. That's like, we just do it like almost 2 times a year, it seems. And we're going down the road. One of the cars like breaks down, maybe like an hour out. And then after that, it started like just pounding down with snow, absolute blizzard.
Of course.
yeah.
And then
And,
it's the
for-
road started closing and everything like that. I was like, oh, I guess this is a sign we should have played Life.
I was about to say, for all those people who aren't from the South listening to this, when we say it started like pouring down snow, you would
Wasn't like just
probably
an
think
inch.
it's nothing. But as soon as it starts to sit on our roads, nobody can drive. It's just it's how it works.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Heading down there was a big semi truck about maybe 30 yards in front of me. Just started swerving around one turn. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was the one driving, so I was like, "This isn't good."
Have you ever played in the snow, Jack?
No, I have. I lived in Alaska for a little while. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. So I used to play like soccer and stuff in the snow. But I have not played rugby in the snow, thankfully. That is not fun.
That's
I think
probably one of
the
the least favorite things I've ever done.
I think the coldest game we ever played was spring game in Oklahoma last year.
Mm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. There was no snow on the ground.
What's the farthest place you guys have traveled to at LSU? Or like, what was the strangest place, or besides like you said Austin, but like what's the kind of like the strangest place that you've been to that you would have been like, oh, like you guys went over there? Like where? What? Why?
That's a hard one. I don't know. I mean, because I feel like we go to Dallas to play. We play UNT. We go to Waco to play Baylor. We go to College Station to play A&M. We go to Oklahoma. I forgot what city Oklahoma is in.
Oklahoma City.
University of Oklahoma.
Norman, isn't it?
Yeah, Norman. Sorry, I should
Yeah,
know.
Norman,
My
yeah,
grandparents lived there.
And you should know that, don't you?
Yeah,
like
I was
have
like, how
family
am I
ties to
forgetting this?
Oklahoma, buddy.
Yeah, that's my dad's from,
Disappointed.
so I was like, he's probably disappointed now.
But yeah, I definitely like Dallas. I'm a big fan of Dallas. I mean, and College Station isn't bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Not bad.
It's huge, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
We were disappointed that you guys didn't that we weren't able to schedule LSU to come up to Clemson at some point.
Yeah. We were definitely not on top of it like we should have been. Have they? I thought I told him to get in contact with y'all this year for this upcoming semester.
Yeah.
I'm the
I
one
don't
that,
know if
like,
they
I'm
have
actually
one.
I'm the match secretary, so I've been talking to them.
Okay.
So there's been like a little bit since now they're in the SCRC, not the Red River anymore, obviously. So we've been trying to get into contact with them. I think it was sort of just maybe we had the wrong email or something. But the SCRC did just put out a new contact list, so we gotta
Okay.
hit
Well,
them up
I
on that. and
Hop on
shit.
that.
I can
Yeah.
definitely give you my contact, and then I can give you like the president's phone number that
Okay.
his actual phone number and stuff. Or I can give you
Wow.
all the officers' phone numbers.
That'd be great, very helpful if it doesn't work then. So that's
Yeah.
because we really want to play him. I think we'd be very excited,
Yeah.
especially after the national championship game last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a great fundraiser that we did too before the national championship.
Yeah, that was.
That was awesome.
I think you guys had a big lead going into that, and then I think towards the end we caught up because I think
Yeah,
I don't remember the
y'all
numbers, but
definitely
you
won
guys were
again.
like a few thousand ahead, huh? Sorry.
Yeah, it said y'all definitely won in the end. I remember that.
Yeah. It
It's a
was
shame we
big
didn't win the
comeback.
national
Still
championship.
broke that. You know.
But apart from those like travels and experiences, what about like home games? Like, what's the LSU home game atmosphere like? I've never, yeah, for rugby, because I mean, rugby or football, I don't really mind.
I was about to say
Talk about
football.
either.
Oh yeah. Football, we actually have a little rugby tailgate and everything, so all the boys come and we all have a good time. We have like some alumni that cook for us, and free for girls. You know how it is. And then rugby, like for the rugby home games, that's also really good. We normally have like maybe like 50 or so fans out that are all like friends, girlfriends, parents. Mostly LSU supporters. Sometimes like Baylor will bring a crowd of parents to come and support. Texas, my A&M's kind of far. I don't really think they bring a crowd.
Yeah.
Mostly like for the away teams, just parents that come.
Right. Did you guys ever play at like a football stadium or anything like that where they had like more people?
Yeah, we actually played in LA Tech's football stadium, which was really
cool.
Wow.
That's
that was
awesome.
a really nice stadium. We just got it, because we played them when they were in the off season, and they were like, "Yeah, no problem, you can play here."
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, because
I think-
you
Not fun to play on now,
oh turf.
Turf, yeah.
Oh, not turf.
Just say that's what Lindenwoods is. Lindenwoods is a stadium with turf, and Life's is turf.
Yeah, but Life's is different because they have all those like pellets and everything. It's more like a cushion rather than a field.
Yeah, it's soft.
But then you get pellets everywhere.
I mean, you'll be playing against ATL at some point in time, so you'll know exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So did you like? Obviously, I know this season got cut short, but have you been going to any of the home games for NOLA in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've gone to. I think I went to 2 last year, then I went to 1 of the current season, just because I had games in myself those weekends and stuff. But I had planned to go to a lot more, but everything got canceled.
Yeah.
I definitely had aspirations.
Yeah, that's like for us. Like Atlanta rugby is. I mean, it's at Life, and obviously we were talking earlier about it being like a 2-hour drive max.
Yeah.
And so like we went to an ATL game, and we actually interviewed a couple of the guys at that game. Shameless plug to a previous episode that we did. But
might have got to talk to Matteo Bastero.
Yeah, that's on our social media. Tigers Talk Rugby on Instagram. But so we more plug it. Just keep on plugging them. But yeah. And when we were going there, actually, there was the stadium was quite filled. It was Rooney versus ATL this past season, and the stadium was pretty full. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
which games did you go to? Do you remember? For NOLA.
I do not, honestly. It was so long ago.
What was the atmosphere like there? Was it like
crazy? That's why. Probably
crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun. No,
Wow.
those fans are awesome. They're really loud. real passionate, you know.
For
And
sure.
the
Next year,
new
you
stadium
be
is
seeing
really
the games from a different area.
So I always have like this experience going, like whenever I'm out and about, you know, I'm wearing like say Clemson rugby shirt or something like, or just any rugby shirt, and somebody like comes up to me and like, you know, asks me a bunch of stuff. Has that ever happened to you? Like that you're just in the randomest of places in the world and they're like, oh, you play for LSU rugby? Well, I played for so-and-so rugby and whatever like that.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. Some guy bought me Burger King in an airport once because I was wearing an LSU rugby tee, and he was like, "You play rugby at LSU?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I do." He was like, "I'll buy your Burger King." I was like, "Thank you."
Wow.
And then we started talking about he played rugby at I think Notre Dame in the '90s or something like that.
Nice.
But then played in like the men's club I forgot what city he lived in. It was like a year ago at this point. But yeah, that's like, and that was kind of when I really leaped into like trying to play professionally and really start training for rugby. I was like, wow. Like he just saw the word rugby on my shirt and automatically was like, he's my friend, you know?
For
Yeah,
sure.
we like to say that like rugby is like the world's largest like co-ed fraternity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true.
I love the culture around the sport so much. Like I'm pretty sure I mentioned this like at least every episode, if not every other episode, that like it's just so awesome to just like go out and have any sort of rugby like shirt or hat or whatever on, and you could be like in the middle of a country town with maybe a stoplight or two, and somebody would be like, oh, you played rugby at Clemson, or you played rugby? Like, well, I played rugby like 40 years ago, and you just hear their stories.
Yeah, right.
I love that about the sport so much.
I think I like this, you know, like the camaraderie behind it. Like when, you know, within the pitch lines, you're, you know, wanting to kill each other, and then afterward, you always like share a beer with them or something like that. It's always the best part.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the best parts of rugby.
So on that, we're gonna wrap up this episode. So again, Jack, thanks for, you know, coming on for a second time, you know, 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, not like we just filmed them back to back or anything.
Absolutely not.
So Jack, do you have any final words, shameless plugs or anything like that?
NOLA Gold Rugby, come buy tickets, come watch us. Team to beat, you know. And yeah.
Awesome.
So on that note again,
we'll get to see you play. Hopefully we'll get to see
you
play
yeah,
live.
we have
That'll
to go
fun.
now. We have to go to New Orleans now.
Oh, absolutely.
Or at least when NOLA comes to play Atlanta.
Yeah. At the very least.
Minimum.
Yeah. So
and
with
on that, we'll wrap it up. And thank you everybody for listening. And again, just keep watching some rugby. Again, there's Super Rugby going on, and it's on ESPN too. So there's no excuse at this point.
friendly reminder that we are on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Spotify.
That's 8 platforms. Wow. All right.
There you go.
And Facebook, but that's not really a podcast platform.
Yes. And we're on YouTube now.
Yeah. All of our stuff is on YouTube. We're spreading out. We're everywhere. Just look us up. So on that, I'm Ethan Richards.
I'm Becky Rice.
And CJ Bankel. So have a great day, guys.